We're live.
We are live. How'd you know we were live?
You just counted me down.
Sense.
Yeah, 6 cents.
Wow. How was the pool party that I pulled you from?
The pool party was lit. Me, Colten, the Acclaimed were there. We were drinking Fiji water. Am I allowed to say that?
You could say whatever you want.
Yeah, Fiji goes hard, dude.
You weren't just drinking Fiji
Chicken
water.
strips and fries with a side of ranch.
Was this a children's birthday party you were at?
Yes, it was.
Dude, don't ask
The
any
pool
more
was a
questions than
blow-up
that.
pool.
Just know I was having a good
I
time.
was asking you about a pool party in Las Vegas.
Just know I was like this in Vegas.
What
Chicken strips, fries.
Is this the
Fiji
chicken
water.
strips and this is the fries and the other?
This is like me dipping in the ranch. This is me with the Fiji water here. Like this motion.
Okay.
It was a pretty cool dance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it is a Thursday, so I guess the pool parties, I mean, chicken wings might be, or chicken fingers might be the craziest you'll get.
But we also know we had to be responsible and come here and do
Absolutely.
your awesome
Yeah, we're
show.
businessmen.
Yeah.
And we put business first. So like
Yeah.
when I went to the pool party, everybody was like, yo, drink some alcohol, take some shots. And I was like, no, I have to go do a very important interview.
And after that, then also have to go to Chris Van Vliet's interview.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
I've got 2 interviews.
yeah,
One's
two
very
interviews.
important.
One's super
One's
serious,
here.
and then one's going to go completely off
Yeah.
the rails.
So we haven't done an interview. Well, Colten and I have never done an interview.
No, we have not.
Austin, the very first interview that you ever did was on my
Ever.
show 4 years ago.
Ever.
Yeah.
I was just a greenhorn in the business.
And it's so funny because so much has changed since then.
A lot.
Yeah, it was summer of 2018.
Oh, he's going to hit me with the facts.
Remember
Yeah,
this?
here
Yeah.
they go.
Because I don't remember it.
Yeah, it was in Central Florida,
Yes.
and you hadn't really started training yet.
Mm-mm.
Not long after that, you did start training. Then you were going to go overseas.
Yep.
You were going to go to Japan.
Yeah.
What happened?
That fell through. I think that's all I can say about it, to be honest.
And that's okay.
it's like it fell through. It just like we were right there. I was about to go over to Japan and
Yeah.
just separate from my dad for a little bit, and just life happened.
I remember seeing you backstage at the very first Dynamite, and I was like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Wait, you're not in Japan right now.
Yeah. So
This
the
isn't
the
Japan.
funny thing about that is like I invited family and friends for a going away party.
I was invited.
Colten
Your
flew-
mom mailed me a card.
Colten flew back from California and like put everything on hold and was like, dude, I got to be there for Austin's going away party. Had a going away party. And then the next week I had to stare those same people in the face and go,
I'm not going
and they
away.
did the same thing you did. They were like, you're not in Japan. And I was like, gotcha. Thanks for the
Well-
cash. Appreciate it. Thanks for all the presents. And
But I understand the going away party, like, you know, your kid or your friend or your nephew or whoever it is
Yeah.
about to move to the other side of the planet.
I was so
Yeah.
nervous.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen.
So you stay in America.
Stay in America.
How does then what you're doing here with Colten, how does this come together?
So Colten's been in California when I started. So when I was doing that whole thing.
Where in
trying to go to
California, by
Japan.
the way?
So I lived in Santa Monica.
Oh, wow. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yep, 14
Beachy
blocks.
town,
from-
baby.
I also live in California.
Yeah, it's awesome. I loved it so much. But
You know Santa Monica?
Of course. Joe's Pizza.
You don't know Santa Monica, like
know Joe's.
Big Dean's
Big Dean's,
by the boardwalk.
Bungalow.
That's just my
we got
spot.
'em all.
I don't know it.
We just have a couple spots.
So at the time, this is 4 years ago, were you the only one at that time that was going to be a wrestler? And Colten, what were you going to do? What were you
So
gonna do?
I, like, out of college, went to corporate America, and then I moved to LA and was building custom houses out there, like 3 stories with elevators. And I had a couple Lakers players in there, like
Wow.
Snapchat CEO. And I was just doing that. And for some reason, I was in my trailer or driving on the job site. And I just always, because him and dad were on AEW now and doing their thing. And I just kept thinking of like promos or like moves or names of stuff. And
Yeah,
I
he
was
would
like,
text us. He would text me out of the blue and go, "Hey, this would be really cool if you and Dad did it. Be cooler if we did it though." Like, and I was like, he was like subtly, like over time, just subtly like
Yeah.
pushing. So.
yeah. So then I called Rikishi because he has a school out there. And I was like,
Yeah.
hey, don't tell
He's
my
in
dad.
where Van Nuys, right?
Yes. And I was like, don't tell my dad. Don't tell any of your students. But I'm going to come in just for like one time, see what it feels like. Of course, when I got there, I'm like a clone of my dad. So everyone knew who I was. I was like, great. That didn't work very well.
It's Billy Gunn.
So I did that. And then I called my dad and I was like, I think I want to try this. I went to Rikishi's school. He was like, why would you not tell me? Like, I don't know. I just
He was
felt like-
heated.
yeah.
He was heated.
I was like,
He's
I thought I needed to do it by
we were
myself.
on the road, like going to like some town, and he goes, "You know, did Colten tell you went to Rikishi's the other day?" And I went, "Yeah." And he goes, "Why didn't you tell me? What's going on here? Does he want to be arrested?" Like he started asking me, like I was
It's a
like,
great
"Dude, I don't
Billy
know."
Gunn,
He
by
just
the
like
way.
went.
Great Billy
He just
Gunn.
went. Yeah, he just
Yeah.
kind of got upset.
Huh.
So then I came home, took 2 weeks off of work, went to the Breeze and Spears School. And then
Flatbacks, I've been there.
Flatbacks.
Oh, yeah.
And
We've
my
seen
dad
the
said,
video.
if you want to do
Who
this,
hasn't?
110%, no half-ass, no pun intended. And then so I quit my job in LA and drove across the country and started. And in November will be 2 years.
That's
for
a
me.
forbidden word.
I know.
But we'll let it slip.
We'll get into that in a second. So you picked up your life, moved from California to the furthest spot you could move
Yep.
to dive into this.
Just did it. Yeah. So November, 2 years. Yeah. Crazy. I just couldn't be 50 and think, "Damn, I never even tried." So I just.
That
That'd
is-
be the biggest regret ever.
Yeah.
And that's such a big narrative for, I think, anybody.
Right.
Not even 50. You don't want to be 80 or 90 or however old you're going to be
Yeah.
Yeah.
and go, I really wish I could have done that thing.
Yeah, that would just eat at you, and
Yeah,
you just don't want that.
Like we
so.
grew up in the business, we were around like everything. We know how it works. It's like subliminally, I can never say that.
subconsciously.
Subconsciously, like in our brain, like when it comes to like moving in the ring or being an entertainer, and it's just like, yeah, it's just like it was just destined to be. So,
But I think that, and we talked about this in the interview that we did, like you either run to it or you run away from it.
Mhm.
And you guys ran to it, but there's a lot of kids who have famous parents, whatever they do, whether they're musicians or actors or directors, comedians, whatever. And they go, that's your thing. I don't want to try to, live in your shadow.
That's how I was at first. I was like, I do not want to wrestle.
yeah, he
I'm
ran
gonna
away
do-
from wrestling. I
Yeah.
ran to it.
Yeah. I was like, I do not want to do this. And then for some reason, I was like, I want to do this. It just hit me.
Yeah,
was
because I
like, I'm
kept
doing
getting
this.
more and more texts, just like, hey, this would also be a good idea. Hey, by the way, I don't know what you're doing. Hey, what are you up to? And I was like, dude, just doing laundry. He goes, well, let me run this by you. And I was like, dude, what do you, like, if you want to do it, just, like, dad will train you. Like, don't worry
Yeah.
about it.
Colten, how do you look so much like your dad? Like,
I think that's just
Genetic?
people look like their parents
Oh,
sometimes.
that
no
is a
way.
fact.
Yeah, it's
That is
just-
a
but
fact.
you
It's
you
weird.
look like him, but like you're Billy Gunn 30 years ago.
He's smoking guns, Billy Gunn.
Yes.
We were looking at photos the other day, and I posted them on my story, and I was like, dude, this is kind of freaky.
It's
'Cause,
really
like,
weird.
My
It's
dad,
really weird.
like younger, looks just like Colten. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like
It's
I
like-
time traveled or something. It's
Your
weird.
dad does this thing.
Wait a second.
Time travel.
Wait a second.
Yeah. Did I have this power I didn't know?
Are we
about?
living in the Matrix? Your dad does this thing and you do it. Like it's this squinty smile. Yes. Yes.
I
That
used to
was
get
a
made fun of.
terrible impression, but the
Terrible.
face was perfect.
But you know what I mean.
The face was
Okay.
good. I don't know if I've ever gone, yes, yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally.
It's like a cartoon guy.
All right.
But you know what I mean. Like your
Yes,
dad
100%.
has so much charisma, which you guys innately have as well, which is also why you've been so successful. Does that just kind of ooze into you when you're growing up?
I think I think I've always been the entertainer and over the top. Like my whole life, people have been like, "Dude, shut up! You're so much." And like over time, it's just like you find the friends that can like tolerate that
Yeah.
and like that want to be around you. And then it's like when we first started, me and Dad were wrestling at AEW. He would come, and then we'd be like, "Dude, you want to come out on the entrance with us?" He'd go, "Dude, what?" He's like, "What do I do? Do I go out there and like raise my hands or like what pose should I do?" And like I'm getting ready for the match right behind Gorilla, and me and Dad are just like, we're nervous because he's so nervous, and it's like he would freak me out before the match. He's like, "Hey, Austin, by the way, what pose should I do? Like, is it this one or this one?" But like seeing him develop over time, it's just like once he got in front of cameras, like you could see like he was trying to find himself, and then just each match it just like progresses.
Yeah.
more and
Yeah,
more.
I'm not. Austin is very center of attention. There's the camera. I'm going to it. He's very entertaining.
Yeah, move out of the way. It's right
yes,
here.
yes, he's very entertaining.
That's
and
why he's
people
sitting
are-
in the center here.
Yes, exactly. And people
Duh.
are drawn to him, and he's funny. And he can like, entertain everyone. Me, I have to kind of switch it on. Like,
Warm up.
okay, it's
You're a
Colten
big
Gunn.
warm-up,
Like I
yeah.
have to switch into this entertaining character.
But
Ah.
sometimes I make this joke all the time. It's like we're both single, we go out, and like when we're at the bar or something, like I'm having a great time. I love entertaining people, and if there's women around, I'm just like entertaining and being funny. I'm like, dude, I have a chance. Like this girl's super cool. Like, and I'm in the zone. And then they get tired of that, and they go, "Who's that mystery man? Who's that mystery man in the corner? He has great hair, locks down to his shoulders, and he's just being like super introverted.
And,
but
he-
that's his thing."
And he looks like one half of the New Age Outlaws too.
Yes.
Huh.
That
yeah,
helps.
is that Smoking Gun, Billy Gunn?
Your suspicions are correct. It's
Yeah.
me.
So you reap the rewards of like they're like, this guy he's very handsome and he's so charismatic. he's a bit much. So, yeah.
Dude, that's what they do, and you can.
No
I can
way.
tell, dude, and I can tell their facial expressions and their demeanor just change. And I go, "Oh, you did it again, Austin! You've just pedal to the metal. You can't help just be
Pump
like
the
to be
brakes
yourself.
a little.
Yeah, just feather
Okay.
the gas.
I
you know?
can't, man. I'm all gas, no brakes.
Ooh,
You can quote
hashtag
that.
hardest worker in the
You can
room.
put that right up there.
Okay, we will.
Inside, all gas, no brakes.
You talk about Colten finding himself as Colten Gunn.
Mm-hmm.
You were the MVP of Daly's Place.
100%.
Yes.
Now I'm owning that. Like,
No, that's not even debatable. Dude.
Yeah.
No.
100%.
yeah. At first, I was like, "Oh, well,
'Cause
I'm doing a good job," and then I was like, "You know what? I'm gonna own this one."
And I get it. You know, it was a strange time for everybody. But because at first it was like no fans.
Yeah.
Then it was like the handful of wrestlers, and like what you guys were doing there and you being so vocal made people that were watching the other programs go, "Oh,
Yeah.
that's how it should
Yeah.
be."
That's the crazy thing too.
Uh-huh.
Is like other companies were like, maybe we do need a crowd. How do we get them out there? Bang on the wall or
We
like
don't
whatever.
have an
Whatever.
Austin
But like
Gunn.
when we got there,
I'm surprised they
like-
didn't try to hire you.
yeah, it's like BT. Nick Jackson was like, there is no crowd. There's just Austin Gunn. And when I heard that, I was like, you know what? That was like kind of true because me and Dad, it started in Atlanta, the pandemic era, and we had our first show because we thought we had to film in Atlanta for like the rest of the
At the
time.
Nightmare Factory.
And we were like, oh my gosh. I was like, well, like it's very quiet in here. Dad, I was injured at the time. I tore my PCL on my debut actually. So I was like recovering from that. And I was like, you know what? You want to go out there and just have some fun? Like while we're like sitting here and doing nothing. He goes, yeah, I'll go out there with you. So I made water bottles with coins in them. I was like, dude, how can I make as much noise as possible just to let like our like talent and our wrestlers know that like you have somebody cheering for you. Like fans are a crucial thing in our business. We feed off them. We switch direction based off them and stuff like that. So I was like, well, if they can just feel a presence out there, I think it'll make them feel comfortable. So we went out there, and the opening scene to AEW, that Atlanta one, is a camera right in my face going, I love it here, whatever. And it was just like, people online didn't know me as a wrestler yet. And they were like, who is that annoying kid? And I just kept reading terrible comments about me, just like, dude, tell this kid to shut up. I was like, I'm doing something right. I'm getting their attention. So then every week, I would buzz Jamie, our camera guy, and I would go, dude, opening scene. And he would just be like this in my face. So I was like over and over and over. And then when we went to Daly's Place, I just ramped it up. And like my voice does not give out very often, and I can keep it going. And there was times late at night at like 2 a.m.
Like 7 hours.
Yeah,
of-
7 hours
You
of
guys
just
filmed
yelling.
a lot of episodes.
Yeah. And I remember, was it you that walked by somebody and somebody in our company goes, well, how hard can it be to like cheer in the crowd? And me and Colten looked at each other and went,
It's
I
the hard-
dare you. I dare you to do what I'm doing out there for 7 straight hours, like
Yeah.
rinse and repeat. And it's just like match after match. And then everybody in like,
And then we
Tony
had to
went-
wrestle.
Yeah. And then we would go in the back, change into our wrestling gear, and then wrestle after that.
Without the
2:30
support of
Yeah.
Austin Gunn in the crowd.
2:30 in the morning. And then when I went out there, everybody was just like,
Yeah.
I was like, really? Really? That's how we're going to do this? But I was
Yeah.
like, I'm doing my job. Like, let me just take advantage of what I can do in the meantime while I'm injured. So that's how that came about.
With you guys being a tag team and the New Age Outlaws being arguably one of the greatest tag teams of all time,
No arguing, just the.
how, those are big shoes to fill. How do you go out there and try to form your own legacy?
You don't try to fill those shoes ever. And that's one of the things Dad always told us is like, it's like, it was never like pushed on us like you have to live up to this level. He's like, if you have fun doing this, like if you have fun wrestling and being an entertainer and doing this business, I'll teach you everything you want to know. If you don't love it from like inside your heart and you think you're just trying to fill these shoes that I had, it's like, get out of the business. So we still get super nervous before shows. We go out there and we just be ourselves. Like literally every match, I'm just myself.
Yeah, I think if you're like, how are we going to fill the shoes of New Age House? How do we be like them? You'll just think about that and you'll lose sight of who you are. Actually, what makes
Authenticity,
you
yeah.
different.
Yeah.
So then
Yeah.
it's just kind of, we just got to, the more we're in front of a crowd, the more we find ourselves.
Yeah.
Because we even have, what have we tagged together 10 times?
Yeah,
So it's-
maybe a handful or 6 times.
Yeah.
But it's like every time that Dad's not in the match, it's like me and him work together, and I'm like, oh, let's steal that. Like I really liked what we did tonight in that era. we need, or in that little section of the match, we need to fix this about ourselves. Like, it's just, we're always.
And you're doing it in front of 1 million people.
Yeah, and that's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
It's training on the job,
his story is
100%.
nuts. It's like he didn't do the indie scene. He didn't do anything that like, and that's why we get so much hate. Is like, I know people want to see like second generations put in the work and go to the indie scene and try to make a name for themselves, then get to a company. It's like Colten literally moved back from California, took an 8-week course. At the end of the 8 weeks, we were like, dude, how is he this good already? And me and Dad were like, dude, we're in trouble. Like, right? Right? And we were like, dude, is he ready? I don't know. Let's have our first match. We had our first match. Dad starts crying in the ring. And then literally from that point, it's just like, we always have to take a step back and go like, dude, this is nuts.
Yeah, we just wrestled
Nuts.
like a couple weeks ago. We just wrestled FTR on Dynamite.
On Dynamite. Like in front of.
A year
in
later
front
was
of,
like my debut. I mean, a year earlier. I'm
on
sick.
TV,
It's
Colten
crazy.
is wrestling.
Yeah.
Like, it's just a dream match for us. So it's like, looking back at those moments, it's like, dude, this is all worth it. Like, this is awesome.
Yeah. Growing up with your dad doing what he did, was Brian Road Dogg like an uncle to you guys?
They traveled so much, so it wasn't like
Yeah.
we always went on the road sometimes with Dad during summer when we didn't have school, so we knew all the guys. But it was they traveled so much when you're home for like 2 days, no one's really gonna come over. But everyone was super friendly backstage and everything. To
Yeah.
us.
We didn't see Road Dogg as much unless we went to the shows.
Yes.
We saw maybe Big Show more.
Yeah.
Oh,
We saw
really?
Big Show more. He gave us our first PlayStation and Xbox for
Xbox,
Christmas
yeah.
at the same time.
That's
Yeah.
an
He's like, hey,
incredible gift.
I have a little present for you. And we were like, all right, cool. He's like, it's in my back of my trunk. And he opened the trunk and it was a Xbox with 5 games, PS, whatever it was at the PlayStation,
Yeah.
with 5 games.
Oh, it might have
And
been
he's
a
like,
PS2, yeah.
yeah. And he goes, Merry Christmas. And we were like, wow. Take us to shows more often.
Was he
Yeah.
like your godfather or something? Just
I think he's the closest one to being like our uncle. Like,
Yes.
we were on a cruise, wrestling cruise one time for Disney, and me and Colten were getting too crowded in the adult pool, so he took us, or in the something in the kiddie pool.
There was like a captain's pool or something.
It was a very private, like you had to have a membership or whatever.
Yeah.
And Big Show took us over there so we could have some time and kind of like have some privacy. And the boat captain came out and he goes, those kids, like started yelling at us, those kids, you guys need to get the hell out of this pool. And Big Show was in the water. And you ever seen those workout videos where the people jump out of the water onto the like thing? That's exactly what he did, as heavy as he was. And he grabbed the captain by the collar and goes, if you ever talk to them like that again, I will throw you over this boat and I will drive us home.
wow.
Yeah,
And
so then we trashed the pool because we
fear,
I'm just
the
kidding.
fear in that guy's eyes.
Of course, it's the Big Show.
Dude, I can't even imagine, especially back then. He was just, oh
Yeah.
my
Wow.
gosh. I would poop my pants.
7 foot, 500 pounds, just grabbing me. Like, great.
Who were your, other than your dad, who were your guys growing up? Who were your favorite wrestlers?
I mean, I have to go with Stone Cold was The Rock. I mean, those
So
guys are so entertaining. It's how can you not love
they
them?
used to let us beat him up backstage.
Yeah.
I would
The Rock
give the
stunners.
Rock stunners every
Yeah.
time I saw him.
Wow.
And then Stone Cold, you give him the rock bottom or do whatever you want to him. And then it was just like super cool. They were so welcoming.
I
I
think-
also like Scotty Too Hottie,
Yeah,
Brian
he's very
Christopher.
nice.
They always used to like give us their hats and spike our hair and like do all the stuff. And then when we went to the show, Rikishi would always give us push pops.
Yeah.
He'd always take us to get push pops.
and you're
then-
what, 5, 6
Yeah,
years old?
we're
Dude,
so
every
young.
time we go, where's Rikishi? Get push pops. Go Scotty Too Hottie, Brian Christopher. Let him style our hair. Go stun The Rock really quick. Go talk trash to Stone Cold.
And then we go to the
we
merchandise
go to the
guy.
merchandise.
He'd take us to the table
Yeah.
and he said, all right, you each get 3 things.
He passed
Literally
away
every time.
Yeah, he passed away. But every time we went there, we'd go to the merch stand and just he'd go, whatever you want.
3 things each.
Yeah.
So
So those are the
man.
little small things that we look back on and go, that was cool.
Yeah, but at the time you're just like, yeah, this is my dad's work. Like this isn't weird.
Boo, I hate being here, but at least I get a cool Stone Cold wallet for free. But like looking back now, it's like, dude, that was awesome.
Yeah.
But at what point do you realize like not all the other kids have a dad who has this job? Is that pretty young?
Elementary school, I think, was my first time.
And
I
like,
think you realize that my dad doesn't have a regular job, but I don't think you realize the scope of it until
That's
I don't know. I don't think I hit like, wow, my dad was like almost a rock star. The Attitude Era was insane.
I mean, all of your classmates are doing Suck It
Yeah.
because of your dad.
Yeah.
yeah.
elementary school, people were like, your dad's not famous. And then I would try to prove them wrong and be like, oh yeah, hey dad, can you wait in the car line like 15 extra minutes and tell that kid like that you're famous? Tell him, like, I would try to prove it to people. I think I didn't realize like how much my dad's had a footprint in wrestling until I actually started. So like probably right when we had our first interview, like that was kind of the time where like when I would go and venture out on my own, people were like, dude, your dad did this for me, or your dad taught me this, or like, dude, I learned the most about your dad when he did this. And I was like, damn. I was like, this is cool. And then when I went to AEW and we're around him, it's like all that stuff comes back to me, and it's like, that's what that guy was talking about. Yeah. That's what he just taught me. It's like we're just sponges right now. So
I know it when I put out an interview with your dad, like the views are insane. And he's done so many interviews.
Yeah.
But still, like he has that staying power. Because he means something to different people, I think, too.
Yeah. And he just like, you're drawn to him when he's on camera.
Oh my gosh.
Dude, he's more of a camera hog than me.
He is. He tries to downplay it.
He tries to downplay it. Thank you for
This is the problem is like, I'm the third. So like you got Austin and my dad just fighting for this camera. And I'm just in the back.
It's not necessarily, well, when we're out there, we're fighting. No, I'm not even going to try to back this
that
up.
red light goes on there. They're just hounds.
Dude, you're just in the moment.
I'm
in the front of the camera, and then I feel and dad's just like, but the thing about my dad having like some star power and just having an impact, it's like me and Colten would go out there first. I was like, let me and Colten go out first so they can see us. Boo! The whole crowd. Boo! We don't want these kids. We hate you. And then we always hear a boo right behind us, and we turn around and dad just like this. Camera right here, obviously, and he's just living in the moment. He still has so much fun.
Yeah.
Your dad told me that, I remember I had a conversation with him, this was a few years ago, and he's like, if we had this conversation 15 years ago, he's like, I was a raging alcoholic. I would have been a total asshole to you.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't believe it. Because he's such a nice guy.
He's so nice.
Yeah, he is very nice.
Except to us.
Yeah, he's not nice to us.
Travel
at all.
days.
Come on. How is he not nice to you guys?
Oh, travel
He just
days? You want
takes
to take us through our
liberties on
travel
us,
day?
man.
Please.
Okay, so we wake up and then we go to the airport. He doesn't say anything to us. I go to
Not
the
one
Delta
word.
Club and I sit away from him. So like he's literally here in the Delta Club. I sit on the opposite side. Don't talk to each other. And then we'll go on our plane, land.
Is he flying first class and you're in
Of
the
course,
back?
Yes.
of course. And then he always makes the joke like, hey, I got, what seat are you guys? I'm in like 34C, which we know he's in 5C every single time. So, and then we have our travel day, which he's miserable about, like complains about everything. We land, we get the rental car. I'm driving. He's doing the directions. Can't be good enough. He's like, dude, can you guys stop at a gas station? Dude, I need to eat right now. You need to take me to my hotel. I was like, hey, our hotel's right here. Can we make it just a quick trip? And he goes, no, take me to my hotel 30 minutes away and then drive back. Like,
And I'm
it's
like,
just
can
like,
we just do this? He's like, you know how you fix that? Get your own car.
that's his line. You know how you fix that? It's like, hey, dude, like this is getting a little too much. Can we like fix this? And he goes, you know how to fix that? Get your own rental car.
Wow.
So he has that. He's doing the power play.
How much more over are you guys now since everything with Danhausen?
We don't really talk about that guy.
Yeah, we don't.
This interview
let's-
was going well.
Wherever the
Wow.
camera is that the camera? Wait, right there.
Yeah.
Edit that part out. Bleep that out because that's a curse word to us.
Yes.
No pun intended.
Danhausen or ass? Or both of them?
Both are.
Yeah, both
not-
are curse words.
Yes.
And if you say them again, we're gonna have a problem.
Can I say ass boys?
That's
literally
the forbidden one, man.
I think the Bible, Genesis 101, thou shalt not call the Gunn Club ass boys.
Yes.
So
And then Genesis 102 is refer back to Genesis 101.
Yes. And then so
I must
long,
have
so
missed that part in the
Yes.
Bible.
All the way to
end of the
Revelation.
book, it's like at the end of the book, it goes revert back to
Wow.
Genesis 101.
Yes.
Every signing you're
Great.
at.
It's the bestseller. It's
Yeah.
literally the most sold book in the
Yeah,
world
It is.
The Bible.
for that reason.
Wow. Every signing you're at now are people like, can you just sign this under ass boys?
Yeah, and you know what we do?
What do you do?
NOT, underline, not ass boys. Every single time.
Yes.
Well, your father's Billy Ass.
It's not. His name is Billy
He had a
Gunn.
great career being called Mr. Ass. I'll give him that.
That's his last name.
Great. It's not his last name, though. That's
It was
the
on
thing.
the back of his shorts.
Yeah, but it's Billy Gunn, man. That's just what it is. All right.
Is it not Kip Sop?
Look, man, are we
is this a
getting real?
shoot interview?
Are we getting real? It was
Are we
Monty
shooting?
Sop. If
Well,
we're
yeah,
getting real technical.
that was his name in Impact, right?
Kip James.
That's right.
Kip James.
Kip James.
What's your, if we're not going DX version of your father, what's the second best version?
To make fun of?
Sure. I'll tell you mine, and then you guys can go. The
Okay.
one Billy Gunn.
The one-
Unbelievable.
Wait, what is that? Dan. I got them all. I got them.
So good.
I remember had like
Look at all I've got.
That was beautiful. That sounds just like
that
it.
was great.
Like a
Yeah.
bad man see.
Hey, let's add some auto tune in that. Engineers.
Everything you wish you had.
Oh, you know. Oh, man.
Have you seen there's a Twitter account that puts that theme song to 90s sitcom openings?
No.
You haven't? I showed your dad this, and he's like, I can't believe this is real.
You know, a professor in college, like the Mr. Ass song,
Yeah.
like dissected it for his class.
Like lyric for lyric.
lyric for lyric. I like to kick him. Well, what does that mean to you guys? Like,
That guy actually, so I told your dad about that. Or, he told me about that. And the guy was actually like a comedian giving like a speech in front of people.
oh, was he?
He ended up responding and being like, I can't believe like years later that Billy Gunn has seen this.
It took years, but it
took
finally
years.
got to him. It was in
Okay,
the
so
webs.
what is the second best iteration?
I mean, the Smoking Guns is great because that's where you guys start. But if you go back and watch the vignettes of like Billy and
Billy
Chuck,
and Chuck.
It is so
my
funny. Like,
gosh.
it's just pure.
They're in like the
just-
women's dressing room and they're doing like a calendar and you think it's going to be of like women and it's just of them just like
Yes.
posing
They
and they're
did,
like,
like-
yes, this is awesome. Woo!
They're
Like,
doing like the strip tease. I don't know. It's just so funny.
And the deep stretches.
dude, deep stretches, just like, oh,
I was like, what is going on here? But it's just entertaining.
he
It's
had a
just
sit down
ridiculous.
with us. Like when I was like 5,
Yeah.
he would be 8. And like he sat us down at the kitchen table and he was like, hey, I don't mean to alarm you guys, but this is what I'm going to be doing on TV and this is who I'm going to be playing. We're like, dude, we don't care. He thought he was going to be serious and then Colten started crying.
No. I did not start crying because of that. He
Oh.
told us about the story, like his character, and he's like, I just want you guys to know this is where the character's going. I'm like, yeah, whatever. But later I went out and the dog got out of the kennel and like chased the pizza guy. Pizza threw the pizza in the air. He jumped on top of his car. I'm like, ah! So I run inside.
So
and I'm just,
completely unrelated to
Yeah,
Billy.
but
Yeah,
I'm
that was
bawling.
that was
Okay.
not going where I thought it was. I
Yeah,
didn't know
me
that's the
neither.
reason he
but
cried.
I was crying, and my dad's like, okay, I won't
Now you
do
know
it.
all
I
these-
won't
Oh
do
yeah,
it."
yeah, because he
Yeah.
thought he was crying about the
Yeah,
Billy
so my
and
dad's
Chuck
like,
thing.
I won't do it. I won't do the Billy and Chuck thing. It makes you just upset. I'm like, no, the dog.
No,
attacked
the
pizza
dog
guy."
is eating the pizza guy. Like,
Yeah,
But when
weird
you're a-
correlation.
But when you're a kid and your dad is doing this, yeah, everyone can see us.
yeah, I like this.
Yeah. She'll be at the pool party later. with
Yeah,
the chicken
I invited
fingers.
her to eat some chicken tenders and fries.
But when you're when you're a kid and that's the storyline on TV, aren't you like, this is really awkward for me and my friends?
I was in 5th grade, and the teacher I had in 2nd grade, I'd be in like car line, and she'd be, how's your other dad? It's like that's what?
So sometimes it's like for me personally, it's like when you're talking to a new like girl or like you're hanging around new friends and they don't know what wrestling is. And I'm like, yeah, I had a great time tonight. The whole crowd chanted ass boys and like we hated it and like it was just like crazy. And then they're like, what? I'm like, oh, they don't know about wrestling.
And then
it's
you
like
gotta
growing
really
up-
go
Yeah,
deep.
yeah, growing up it was like whenever you had to explain what your dad did, it's like, especially during the Billy and Chuck era, it's like they would Google my dad and be like, what? What is this, dude? This is weird. What are you guys into? And yeah, it's sometimes super awkward or like it's like hard to explain what we do. Such a unique sport.
I think people forget the payoff of Billy and Chuck was actually really good. Like Bischoff being the officiant at the wedding, taking off the mask, saying 3 minutes, 3-minute warning comes in.
Yes.
Like, I was not expecting that to
Yeah,
happen.
what just happened here?
Didn't they make like news and tabloids and like
Oh,
wasn't
big
that
time.
the-
They
were
wasn't
on,
that the
like-
first time in like
Yeah, they were on like USA Today.
Yeah,
like,
USA
talk
Today,
show,
like,
Good Morning
talk-
America.
Yeah.
it was like a big movement.
Well, it was going to be a gay wedding on
Yeah.
on Raw.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It was.
Big thing.
At the time it was just
And then the payoff was like, a wrestling storyline
Yes.
after all the Good Morning America coverage. All right, so Billy and Chuck for you. What's your?
I think I agree. I think the vignettes of Billy and Chuck. I also love acting like Billy Gunn during Smoking Guns and just making fun of the way he moved in the ring because we are so much better than he was starting off. And he'll tell you that. I'm not just like being cocky. Dude, the way he hit the ropes and just flew through moves and just didn't care. Dude, he didn't hear one person in the crowd. He was just like, yeah, headlock. All right, let's do moves. I was just like, Billy, slow down. But yeah, I think Smoking Guns is really funny when I do it in the ring and imitate him and like just make fun of him.
What's the best piece of advice that you've got? Not from Billy Gunn the wrestler, but from Billy Gunn the father. Whatever we want. Dad.
I know mine. You go first.
I would just say if you're gonna do something, give it 110% and just don't quit. I guess would be, if you're gonna do it, commit to it.
And you're living proof of that.
Right.
Yes.
It's like the same with his wrestling career and his gym dedication. Is like if you're gonna do it, like do it 110%. Don't go out there and do 70% and cheat yourself, and then not be the best version of.
I was just about to say that. I was like, it correlates to his like real life. It's just like every time I skip the gym today. It's just like every time I have to utter those words, he goes, whatever. And I just feel awful, right? It's just like he is so dedicated and more dedicated than ever today. I think the best quote that he ever told me, I think it was like before my first match, he goes, "You ready?" And I go, "Yeah." And he goes, "Go out there and have fun. That's all that matters. That's all that matters. If you're having fun, that's all that matters."
Does it bother you when like you're at a signing with your dad and they meet you guys and that's awesome, and then they're like, I can't believe how jacked he is. And you're like, well, what about us? We're in good shape.
That's every time. Sometimes they're like, oh, I didn't know you guys were this big. It's like, yeah, we got to stand next to this Greek statue
we
every
have to
time.
stand next to Shrek every time we have a match. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is, like I said, he's so dedicated now.
He's huge.
And locked in, dude. He does not miss a meal. He doesn't go astray unless he wants to. And it's crazy. And he's in the best shape of his life. And he's
and they come up to us. And
108
"You're so
years old.
big, man." Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Cool.
Cool, Colton's the tall one, so imagine how I feel. I'm 5'11", and I'm just like sitting there next to him. I feel like I'm feeling good about myself, and then Colton stands next to me during the signing, and then Dad is just over here and just like butting me out of the way. It's a little.
Why didn't you get the height? What happened?
I don't know. Why not, Mom? Thanks a lot. No, I got my mom's height, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, you
can't bless this body. If I had everything, do you know how unbearable I would be?
You know who
if
had
I was tall.
You know who had it all?
If I had a good set of
The one.
if I had a good set of hair like Colton and I was 6'4",
I'd be over.
I would literally text you and go, "I'm not coming to the interview. You don't deserve it."
You wouldn't be able to rap then. Something would have to give.
Yeah, you got.
Something would have
there
to
has
give.
to be some flaw, right? And mine just happens to be my height.
Are you recording new music?
I've been slacking, to be honest. Sometimes I like go in these stages where I love music and I want to write and freestyle every chance I get. And then sometimes I'm so focused on wrestling that it's just like, I literally, I don't want to say I don't have time for it. That's just me being lazy. But it's like, if my heart's not in it at that time, I don't want to force lyrics or come up with something.
Force lyrics. Yeah.
Well,
but I love the quote. It's the man who chases two rabbits catches none. And the idea is that if you aren't all in on wrestling or music, you're only going to be kind of good at both. You're going to be half.
Don't do it.
Anusing it.
yeah.
That'll work.
Good job.
I'll let that slide.
Dad also, I felt like some tension and some pushback when I first started wrestling and I needed to be 100% into it. And that was the time where I was so dedicated about music too. So like when I would go to the studio, he'd be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Are you meeting me for the gym?" And I was like, "No, I'm at the studio." And like I felt that. I was like, "Damn, can I not do both?" And then over time, it's like, no, at the time I needed to be 100% about wrestling. Now I can kind of prioritize it and kind of do both, kind of.
Yeah.
But that's why I've been slacking. It's just like we're getting into a groove now. So I want to just dive into our wrestling career and make sure, because that pays the bills.
Yeah. Who is the dream match? Doesn't need to be someone who's wrestling right now, but
We already had it.
Yeah.
Okay, it's FTR?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
What,
FTR was our
what
tag.
about a tag team who's maybe retired or something like that? And you can't say the New Age Outlaws. That's too
That would
obvious.
be awesome.
Of course it would be awesome.
Yeah, if we could wrestle them. That'd
Actually,
be so
no,
great.
because Dad hits really hard.
Yeah, he does.
He beat the crap out of us in practice one day.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, I was like, hey, me and Colton are gonna wrestle this new kid that we want to like help get better. And Dad was like, hey, maybe I'll jump in and be his tag team partner. You're like, all right, cool, yeah, whatever. What's your bang, 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 whatever. I was like, cool. Literally,
Mind you, this is in a warehouse. In front of
with
4
3 people. Sean Spears,
This is a
Tyler
flat
Breeze,
back, okay.
Yes, yes.
half flatbacks.
And like 2
and-
students.
Yeah, 2 students just watching in a warehouse. And when that guy tagged my dad, it literally, I don't know if his pupils just went and just like, I don't know, he turned into a machine.
You could feel it right when he hit. I was like, oh,
I was coming in like this. I was like, oh, is he gonna hit me? And he was just coming in like this. Boom! It hits me right in the nose, and I went, oh my gosh! I'm getting up, coming back at him. Boom! Right in the head again. I went, dude, or do you realize you're doing this? And he goes, sorry guys, I get a little jacked up in there, and I go, dude, my nose is bleeding, and I'm like, did you not realize what you just did? And he goes, no, I kind of blacked out, dude. I got the tag, and I blacked out. Punching, I look at Colton as I'm running at Dad. I feel like I turned to Colton, and he goes, no, just boom, and just cracked us.
yeah, he was killing
Dang.
us. He was killing us.
Psychopath.
What's the 1 year goal for the Gun Club? What would you say? What do you guys want to do if we sat back down here next Double or Nothing? What would you have wanted to accomplish in this time?
I would say, fight for the tag team titles on a pay-per-view, or defend them, or win them. Like in the next year would be. That's the ultimate goal for me, at least, is to win the tag titles with Austin. That would be, and if it can happen within a year, which I don't see why
and
not.
then who's turning on who here?
Oh, never.
Never.
Yeah,
Never.
never. Yeah, of course not.
Yeah.
We can't do that.
That
No.
never happened.
I always tease that I want to hit Dad with a chair one day, though. I don't have to.
It'll
Turn, I don't
bounce
have to
right
turn on.
off
I don't have to
him.
turn on.
You just
him.
want to hit him with the
I
chair.
just want to hit him with a chair.
Yeah.
He goes, "You're not doing that." So like everything we like try to go into like wrestling wise, it's like, hey, we want to work with these people and like fight them. And then at the end, what if I just hit you over the head with a chair? Like I always sneak it in there. And he goes, I always get him like really dialed in. I'm like, hey, what if we take it this way? And then me and Colton like do this,
Yeah.
do this, and then right at the end, hold on, you got me, Billy? Right at the end, I take a chair and whack you over the head. And it's just like throws his hands up and just shakes his
We're
head.
not doing that.
We are not doing that.
Well, sorry to pull you away from the big pool party. I hope that you can go back there and eat some more chicken tenders.
Oh, the party finds me every time.
Well, the Gun Club brings the party.
That is true.
Yes,
That's-
that's true.
Thank you guys so much for coming by. And I end every conversation with the same question. So I'm all about gratitude. I start and end every day talking about gratitude.
Downer.
No, this is
Oh,
great. What are 3
gratitude.
things in your life that you're grateful for right now, Austin?
3, huh?
3.
I think the freedom to be able to do a job that I absolutely love. I think I'm grateful for having a sibling that also wants to take this career path and share that moment with him. I think that's super rare, especially in wrestling. But this is just like, you don't know what it's like until you're in there and you're just
Yeah.
like, dude, this is my brother, not just some like random person I was paired up with.
Yeah, yeah.
Another thing I'm grateful for, I think, just extending off that, is like being able to wrestle with my dad. I think being able to absorb knowledge and just be a sponge at 24/7 by one of the best teachers and like workers to ever do it,
Yep.
that he doesn't get credit for some reason. I think it's just like being able to do that and be around my family and enjoy this job and do what I love to do. And dude, I'm in Vegas. I get to come here and have an interview with you and then go eat chicken fingers and fries. And then tomorrow I get to go wrestle.
Yeah.
And it's just like I'm doing everything that I love to do, and I have
Yeah.
the freedom to do it, and I'm healthy, and I'm just having a great time.
I love it. Colton?
I'm gonna be very cliche with this. I think I'm just gonna
Downer.
say, just that like I'm healthy. My family is healthy.
Mhm.
You know, we're, you know, this sounds, but like everyone has a roof over their head. No
Yeah.
one's struggling. You know, health wise, stuff like that. And then as Austin said, just that I have a job that I love and friends and family that I love.
Yeah.
And like he just said, we're in Vegas for the week, and then we're going to
This
LA.
is your
Then we're going to
job.
LA.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll
Then
see you
we're-
there.
Yeah, then we're going to LA, and then we're wherever we go. And it's just-
Ontario after that. It's Ontario,
Yes.
California on
Yes.
next Friday.
yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just
We
it's
have a couple
crazy. It's
spots there
whirlwind.
too.
Yeah.
We have spots all over Cali.
What about the dream match of these brothers versus the Usos?
So we always talk about that. I think for some reason, our
brothers
first
versus
one,
brothers.
our first one that was available to us was Devon's kids.
Yep.
Team
And
3D.
That,
those, I
that
love
was
those
awesome.
guys.
They were super cool. I went to their school and I trained there. So like being there and being like, dude, this is crazy. We used to like wrestle each other when we were super little, and having that was cool. I think the Usos is just like, I think that's just top tier. I think that's the next one.
Yeah, and
to
it's
go
also
for.
like it's like a full circle moment because when my dad first started smoking guns, Rikishi was the one that helped him the most.
Yeah.
They literally ran house shows. For
That's
a
I
year
forgot about
straight.
And
that.
he
yeah.
trained you.
I went to his class once.
Yeah. Dude, don't
he's gonna
edit
take
that part
credit.
out. Dad's gonna.
Yeah, he's gonna take credit for that.
It's all stink faces all the time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. That's the only movie you learn. Lock up and stink face.
All right, back to the pool party. Back to the chicken tenders. Guys, thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much.
Man,
Now this is interview number 2.
well,
Imagine in 10 years when it's interview number 3.
10 years?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm kind of a big deal.
Well, I know. but
This is the last time, literally.
This
so,
guy's a
so I'm a reality star.
This
I'm
is
a,
true.
a professional artist when it comes to singing, rapping. I'm a wrestler,
Wrestler,
philanthropist,
Yeah, he does a lot for his community.
fashionista, fashionista.
Entrepreneur,
I'm good at drawing sometimes.
influencer.
Sorry, you've been trying to end this
I know
interview
how
and
to
he's just
party.
gonna keep going. He's just-
I love to party. You can cut this anytime you want.
I think we have
I'm
to do
handsome.
the closing statements. I don't think this
Oh.
is just like a running down
Sorry.
list. Of
I thought
things
that would
you're
be
good
funny.
at.
Like you guys just kind of
Just
just
fade
fade
it
out
out?
with me just naming
I
things.
think
I'm good
we'll end it right